Hello and welcome to our podcast where we are celebrating Black History Month 2025 at Ashford St Peter's Hospital's NHS Trust. This year's theme is Standing Firm in Power and Pride. My name is Amandeep Chana and I'm an Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officer at the Trust, and we have Bart Nyathi joining us. Good morning, Bart. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Amandeep.
Bart, am I right in thinking that you're a staff nurse?
Yes, you are right.
Can you share with us the career path you took to becoming a staff nurse?
It started back in 2004 when I came into this country, and then I joined the health and social care. Fast forwarding into 2026, I started working at St. Peter's, where I was going around the hospital, working in different areas as a healthcare assistant, which gave me the foundation and understanding of patient care and bedside manners to the patient. From there, I pursued a degree in nursing, which within the NHS, and now I'm now a proud staff nurse.
So you said that you came in 2004. Can I ask which country you came from?
I am a Zimbabwean, but I am married to a South African.
Okay.
So I'm a proud Zimbabwean. And I'm a South African at the same time. So my adult life I've lived in South Africa. My childhood life I've lived in Zimbabwe. So I've gone to school in Zimbabwe, but I've actually grown into a man in South Africa.
Can you tell us a little bit about your cultural history? I know you touched on being born in Zimbabwe and then growing up in South Africa. I'm wondering what that was like.
For me, being a Zimbabwean brings me a strong sense of community and resilience. Our culture is rooted in family respect and collective responsibility as a family. And I believe those values shapes the way I work as a nurse. And I see patients not just as individuals, but as part of family and community. Carrying my heritage as a Zimbabwe or South African alike, because I've lived half and half, my role allows me to bring those comparisons when I'm working, especially when I see patients from my own country and they share the same culture. It delights my heart.
And I wonder if it delights theirs too.
Yes, because sometimes I would speak in Afrikaans to South Africans, and then I can speak in Shona to Zimbabweans, or I can speak in Zulu, or either way. So in that part of Southern Africa, I'm a bit of a linguistic as well.
I imagine that's really important for that connection with them.
Yes, it is. Patients would actually relax. They would feel a connection with a nurse that is actually helping them. You will find even when they are moved from your area that you're working, and if they've got relatives, they will keep on coming back to you because of that connection that you have made with them while they are in A&E.
And that reminds me of what you said a minute ago about family and family and community. So I wonder if that is helping to build a sense of family and community for you here, and also the patients.
Oh yes, definitely. I think I would go back to a story that I wrote in LinkedIn, where when I started here as a healthcare assistant, I was working, my mind was not even on doing nursing. I had a few guys that actually came to me and was like, actually, you're brilliant. Have you actually thought to become nurses? And some of them, I remember one guy said to me, you know what, today, we are not going to do anything. We need to phone university. I was like, no, not today. I need to, because I'm married. I've got a family. I need to have a discussion with my wife first before. So eventually I sat down with these guys and like, right, I think I'm ready. Next year I'll start to do my nursing course. Some of them, they were very willing. They were like, okay, we'll help you do your personal statements. We'll help you do this. And I'm talking about nurses that were already working in ED. And that is how I started applying and having a journey into studying nursing. So for me in ED, it became as part of a family. I don't see myself working outside for now, working outside ED, because I understand the people around. I understand people that have encouraged me to become where I am.
So when you came in 2004, what was it like moving from South Africa to the UK?
Terrifying. You are going to a place that you have never been. You are going to a place that you don't have relatives except for your own children and your wife. I remember because my wife had come earlier in 2003, considering she's the one who is the nurse in the family. So she came with a work permit. So she got me out of Gatwick back to our house. And from where we were staying, there were no Black people. There were no South Africans or Zimbabweans. But as you go to work and then you start to see, actually, there is a lot of actually Black people. There is a lot of actually, and then it's actually like there is something that leaps out of your heart by just finding somebody talking your language somewhere, either on a phone or in a supermarket or somewhere. I wish you could just stand there and have a conversation with them. But then when you come to the NHS, you have got that diversity. I can literally walk into the corridor right now in the cafeteria, and I bet you I can find a Zimbabwean and a South African in that corridor. And that is the diverse and that the NHS brings. And if you are out there and your culture is not represented, then there is something wrong.
I wonder how you feel today, 21 years on?
21 years on, being as mature as I am, I feel as a leader, and I feel as a person that can represent my culture. I feel that I'm a person that can try to make myself heard through programs like Yourself, Equality and Diversity, so that my people can be heard. If there is any programs or anything that needs to be done in the NHS, I feel as one person that can do that, especially with this podcast. It's one of those things that we can air our views as Black people, since it's a Black History Month.
And you mentioned Black History Month, and this year's theme is standing firm in power and pride. I'm wondering what that means to you.
It's about being rooted in a space that you were underrepresented before. It's about knowing that you are a Blackness. It's about knowing about yourself as a Black person and saying to yourself, I am proud about my heritage. I'm proud about what I represent, and also become a role model for those that came before me and those that I'm representing that will come behind me.
That's really interesting. And I'm wondering, so you talk about the people that came before you. I'm wondering what figures in the past or even today inspire you to stand firm in your own power and pride.
You've got people like Nelson Mandela talking about from South Africa, people who the embodiment of resilience, humility, and leadership in the face of injustice. In terms of the healthcare, being in school or in uni here, I've since learned about people like Mary Sycamore, who have actually overcome the barriers and spaces of gender and provide passionate care in the time of crisis.
And I wonder if there's anybody in your personal life that you might look at.
In my personal life, I look at my wife, I look at my colleagues that I work with every day from diversity background, who continue to break those barriers. You can talk about our chief executive, for example, Jay, the chief nurse. In the history of St. Peter's, I don't know how many Black people have actually come to or attain that role and become the role model as a Black person.
Sure, you're talking about Jay Dungany.
Yes, the chief nurse, yes.
I'm wondering if you can share a moment in your NHS career where you felt that your racial or ethnic identity influenced your experience, either positively or negatively.
It depends on it. I work in A&E, and our culture is also diverse. There is a wide range of of age in the patients that we get, and mostly elderly. And for me as an individual, it's about be the one who always recognize and be able to recognize those diversity and turn it into a positive. You have got elderly that are dementia, and they've never interacted with Black people, and they can call you some nasty names, which they wouldn't probably do if they didn't have that dementia. So it's about recognizing what is the root cause of that before you react as an individual. But the positive part of it is working within a team that also have gone to school, and we all understand what's going on. And then if that becomes too hot for you, and then your colleagues would say, you know how it is like, let's have a cup of tea and let's refresh, let's get out of this space. And you can actually come back as a refreshed person.
I get a real sense of community. Thank you. And how do you celebrate your cultural identity, both personally and professionally?
Personally, going home, speak my language, eat my cultural food, stick to my traditions when I'm back home. But professionally, it's about the authenticity of being myself. Obviously, I can't wear my traditional clothes to work, but obviously, as an individual who is proud of being a Zimbabwean first, is to always identify myself as a Zimbabwean and as a Black person.
Thank you. And you mentioned traditions, and I wonder what traditions, values, or stories have been passed down through your family that you hold close.
In our Southern Africa, I would say Southern Africa because I'm trying to combine, like I said, Zimbabwean first, and then I grew up in South Africa. There is a common saying, whether you go in Malawi, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa, the common saying is, I'm not so sure, is umuntu ngabantu. A person becomes a person because of other people. So in other words, you're not an individual in a society. So that is, for me, that is what it means for me, which gives me a sense of community, a sense of responsibility as I care for my patients in the world. Because one day I'm also going to be a patient. One day I can draw, I can faint in Tesco's, and you won't be there. There won't be any nurses around. It will be the other people that will be there. And if they don't look after me whilst I've collapsed, then I expect that community, whether white, Black, Indian, or whatever, to be the one that will help me. So, in other words, is I've also embraced being a British as a Black person.
It reminds me of that saying that it takes a village.
I think it is the same saying, umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu.
Thank you. That's very powerful. It feels very powerful to me. What advice would you give to Black professionals just starting out in healthcare?
Don't shrink yourself to fit in. Bring your whole identity into your professionalism. Seek out from mentors. It doesn't matter whether they are Black, white, or whatever. Find a sense of having a family, be keen to learn, and remember that resilience is your strength. I think the NHS as a whole needs to have a voice and needs to have your spectative as a person and your talent. So don't shrink.
I think shrinking is really interesting because I can really see why so many people do, why they do shrink. I'm wondering if you have anything to say to those people that do about why it's important not to.
If you come out, it means you are going to be more able to show your skills. If you shrink, you won't show out your skill. You don't become who you are. And even when there are people from your own background, your own culture, you are scared to even approach or help them. But if you come out, you are able to actually go out with confidence and talk to them and help them, which is part of our nursing journey to be a representative to our patients as we work with them day in, day out, because we represent them. We are our justice scapes. But basically what I'm trying to say is we are their advocates.
Mm-hmm.
We go and talk to the doctors and say, actually, this and this has been missed in your diagnostic. And if sometimes doctors are saying they need to go home, and if you are a person that is frank, it's very difficult to come out and go against what the doctors are asking you to do. So by coming out, you become confident, you become more vocal, you represent your culture, you represent your people, you represent your patient, and you're out of your shell, and life doesn't just become work. You become part of a family, you are more happy, and you enjoy being part of the NHS.
Sure. That's it's really powerful, really powerful. And I wonder if everybody, especially people who might be shrinking, need some support. And I wonder how allies can best support Black colleagues, not just during Black History Month, but all year round.
I think over the years, I've seen St. Peter's as part of the NHS evolving into that. We've got a lot of the CPEs, the clinical practice nurse, which are also diverse in them, which are actually helping. For me, every time I see a CPS, I ask them if I've got a problem. And besides that, I think there is also, they are trying to trail, what is it? There is a program which the CPEs are trying to do to body a preceptorship. So when you start to work within the NHS, they will pay you with somebody, and they are looking for people that can trail that and do that, so that when new nurses come within their role, they've got somebody who's going to help them. I think it will help a lot of nurses to come out of their cocoon.
Sure. So it sounds like what you're saying is to try to build that sense of community. Yeah, by mentoring and supporting and not shrinking and making yourself visible so everybody can see the huge array of cultures and backgrounds that exist in the NHS.
True, because I'm not so sure how many cultures here at St. Peter's, probably up to 96.
I think it's a huge number. I don't know what the number is offhand. Perhaps I should.
Yeah,
it's a huge number.
You would find I think you would find somebody within your culture that can help you to come out. So our culture, it's not something to shy away from, but it is something to actually magnify and understand that as part of equality and diversity, we stand together for the betterment of our patients that we care for.
We're coming to the end of our time, and I'm just wondering if there's a book, film, or piece of music that you feel captures your experience or uplifts you.
It is one of South African I think it has been adopted in most African countries when they first become independent. I know in Zimbabwe they did, I know in Zambia they did, I know South Africa is still one of their national anthems, which is Nkosi Sikelela Africa. Because it connects to me, to my roots. It reminds me of the strength of unity. That is the word I was looking for. In translation, Nkosi Sikelela Africa, it just means God bless Africa.
Well, thank you very much, Bart, for taking time to be with us today. I'd also like to say thank you to you, the listener, for listening to our podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you've taken something useful from it. Thank you, everyone, and see you soon.
Thank you, Mandy.